Other news now, there are roughly 3,000 native species of animals in our nation, but about 40% of them are at risk of becoming extinct.
And that's why animal conservation is important now more than ever. Everything is bigger in Texas, and according to a recent study by Smile Hub, that is ringing true. Our Faith Gilbert is live in studio tonight to talk about her conversation with animal conservation leaders right here in our community. Faith?
Yes, good evening, Leslie and Mike. Texas is quite high on the list for animal charities per capita. We also came in first place for the number of state conservation programs and initiatives. While we sit high on the throne across the country, there is still so much work to do to protect our wildlife.
Texas is really leading the country when it comes to conservation,
said Jesse Gilbert, president and CEO of the Texas State Aquarium, which is also home to the country's only emergency operations center dedicated to wildlife. Part of that being is because of Texans sticking together.
What's unique is that this really could only have happened in Texas because Texans come together to save their wildlife. You know, when sea turtles get cold and we have to save them, that's all headquartered to make sure that happens.
And quite naturally, with the Lone Star State leading the nation in the number of state conservation programs and initiatives, he said, we are also setting the example.
It's actually becoming a model for the rest of the country. You know, how can you bring diverse stakeholders together, whether it's the federal agencies, the state agencies, NGOs like us, can we all come together to make sure that we can protect wildlife?
Because it truly takes all hands on deck to make a difference.
You know, we all have a critical role to play in sea turtle conservation, whether it's nesting season, whether it's cold stunning events.
Scott mentioned that the focus isn't just on sea turtles or even just species, but the work that's being done behind the scenes may also impact your trip outdoors.
We've got a lot of conservation efforts, not just dealing with species, but also dealing with species habitat. You know, and like you see all this sargassum on the beach. You know, a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't look and smell pretty, but it supports a whole ecosystem.
And at the end of the day, that's why Texas comes in first place for our conservation programs, because we pay attention to what matters the most.
Texas really has an appreciation for the outdoors and wildlife that really you don't find anywhere else in the United States.
Scott Cross also mentioned that they are working with the coastal weed management area to eradicate Brazilian pepper tree, which is also an invasive species in our area. He adds that by continuing to work together to take care of not just the coastal bend, but our state in general, Texas will continue to shine above other states as it pertains to our conservation programs and initiatives. Leslie.
All right, Faith, thank you so much for that report.